Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to the third day of uploads on this channel. We are today going to be deep diving into the top 10 matches of men's WrestleMania history. We've got some great matches lined up. We're going back from WrestleMania 3 to WrestleMania 1 to all the way up to maybe a few years ago and beyond. So what I want you guys to do is to click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Click that like button so more people will be able to see it. Share it, get it around, make sure other people will be able to see it as well. And don't forget, click that notification bell as well to get instant notification for when one of our videos goes out live. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this video. Boosh. So coming in at number 10 is Ricky the Dragon Steamboat versus Randy the Macho Man Savage at WrestleMania 3. This is it goes up and down on different people's list. I wasn't born around this time, but I've go back and watch this match quite a few times to sort of sit through it, and it's just one of the best sort of wrestling matches in that time. That was way far so much ahead of its time back then with this match. It was just absolutely brilliant to sit through it and watch it again. Ricky Steamboat coming out on top. He was such a massive babyface at that time and always has been. So for me, that's why it's at number 10. Right, in the number 9 position, we have Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant. One of the biggest matches in WrestleMania history, but just a bit old for myself. I've put it at number 9 because of what it meant to people, and Andre for not losing for how many long years, and for him never to be picked up and then got picked up and slammed by Hogan. It was one of the biggest matches ever at that time. So for me, at number 9, it is Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant. At number 8, we have Kofi Kingston versus Daniel Bryan for the WWE Championship. It was all about Kofi Mania at that time. Kofi never had been able to have a chance at the WWE title, and finally able to get one against Daniel Bryan, that was the Eco Champion, I think that's what it was called at that time as well, with that horrific belt. But I just thought that this deserved to be in top 10. This deserved to be in top 8 for what it meant to Kofi Kingston, what it meant to New Day, and what it meant to his family, and everything that happened afterwards until Brock Lesnar turned up. But it just felt more, the message was powerful. And I thought the way that he won it and the build up to it and everyone helping Kofi get to that point, Usos not going into that match so that Kofi can get into WrestleMania and try and fight for that title as well. I just thought everything about that, the lead up, the fans getting into it, trying to get him to WrestleMania as well. I just thought it was a beautiful way for the fairy tale to finish and for it to start for Kofi to be a champion moving forward. So for me, at number 8 is Kofi Mania with Kofi Kingston versus Daniel Bryan. At number 7, we have Mick Foley versus Edge at WrestleMania in the hardcore match. Now, let me go a little bit of a story about this. So this WrestleMania was one of the sort of first ones I sort of watched either the next day or a day after that. My brother used to sort of tape record them, and then we used to come down when we didn't have school and watch it, and then sort of go try and do the moves for it. We couldn't do this one. We weren't allowed. Funny enough, but this was one of the ones that I really got me sucked in. I watched all of The Rock and Austin and doing all of that, but the one that sort of blew my mind, sort of never really saw that before. You saw glimpses here and there of it before, but I really didn't really pay attention that much to it. But this was one of the first ones I sort of went, whoa, this was absolutely epic. And that one stayed with me the most. But with the other matches I've put on this list, it had to go number 7 for me. So at number 7, Mick Foley versus Edge. Next one on the list at number 6, Shawn Michaels versus Ric Flair. Yes, Shawn Michaels will come up a lot more in this list because he is Mr. WrestleMania in my opinion. But this was a very emotional match going into this. Ric Flair having his retirement match. It didn't really last long, did it? Went to TNA at that time and just started bleeding every week. But yeah, so I just thought the whole match, the way it was and the way it built, and especially with that final super kick as well, switching music was just brilliant. The emotion around that match, the way the match was, just everything about that was top 6 material in my opinion. And just going back and watching that as well, it was so emotional to watch that as well. It was just brilliant. Right, now we are in the top 5, and at number 5 it is my personal favourite, my person that I grew up watching and who I idolised growing up, The Rock versus John Cena at WrestleMania 28. Unfortunately, there's no Rock and Stone Cold on this list going forward, which is really annoying because I wanted to put it on there, but the other matches just were more. But if I could make like a sub list of another 4, number 3 would be The Rock and Stone Cold. Just the matches that they pushed and what they did with each other. But this match was that generation's talent in John Cena versus my generational talent. Could be argued between The Rock and Stone Cold. People will say Stone Cold, other people will say The Rock. So going into this match, it was going to be once in a lifetime match. Did it again, but it was meant to be a once in a lifetime match. But it had to be on this list. It was a great match, and The Rock picking up the win, and then John Cena going through what he went through after that for it to be built to the next match was brilliant as well. So for me, at number 5, it is The Rock versus John Cena at WrestleMania 28. At number 4, we have got The Undertaker versus Triple H. In the Hell in a Cell with Shawn Michaels as the special guest referee. Going into this, all built about that Undertaker beat Shawn Michaels twice, couldn't get it done. Triple H tried and he walked out and he couldn't really get up to carry on. So he knows that he can beat The Undertaker. He knows that he can go the extra bit, more than what Shawn Michaels could have, more than what anyone else in that time could do to beat him going into this WrestleMania. And it was one of the best, that's why it's in my top 4, one of the best matches that I've seen, just by the storytelling of that match, with Shawn Michaels hitting the switching music, going into the pedigree, trying to pin him kicking out and doing everything he can. Even Shawn Michaels trying to help Triple H to beat him. And then they had that embrace at the end with all of them. And it just sort of tipped off an excellent sort of story, starting from Shawn Michaels going all the way to Triple H. So for me, at number 4, it is The Undertaker versus Triple H. At number 3, we have another The Rock WrestleMania versus Hulk Hogan. I can remember this, and I watched it again recently as well when I was coming up with ideas to make content for this week, coming up with WrestleMania. And I watched it, and just the energy in that crowd. The Rock was not the favourite, Hulk Hogan was. He was the crowd's champion at that point. Anytime he did anything, he got cheered more than The Rock. It was an interesting match because I thought going into this that The Rock would be sort of over, but it was all about Hogan, all about him. And it was like as I said before, with the John Cena, The Rock moment. Hulk Hogan's generation versus The Rock at his generation, going into it, and The Rock picking up the win as well. The crowd going absolutely nuts during that. That's the rowdiest crowd I've seen at one of the WrestleMania matches. There's always one each year, and that was one of the loudest ones going into that. So for me, my personal, happy The Rock won because for myself, but it was just epic the whole way through that. So for me, at number 3, The Rock versus Hulk Hogan. Right, we are down to the final 2 of this top 10 men's WrestleMania matches. Hope you guys are enjoying it. So here we go. At number 2, we have the triple threat match. Daniel Bryan, Randy Orton versus and Batista in the triple threat match, which meant Daniel Bryan coming out on top finally and winning the WWE champion and the World Heavyweight title at the time, championship as well. If we look at the whole build-up when him taking over the ring, making him, Daniel Bryan was the biggest man, but the shortest man at the same time in WWE at that time. The momentum he had, no one could really say no to that. And for him to keep pushing it, and then Batista coming back at the Royal Rumble and winning it when the fans didn't want him to win that, and just got on his back, and then he turned heel. Randy Orton being, I think he was the champion at that time, coming in, just being Randy Orton. No one wanted to go against, no one liked him, everyone hated him, the way he was and the way he made people feel, and just the underdog, beating Triple H early on in that match, in the night in that match, and then going on to win the main event at WrestleMania as well. It was just superb storytelling. It's a shame what after happened to Daniel Bryan, not really defending them. The injuries sort of catched up to him as well. So at number 2 for myself, it is Daniel Bryan versus Randy Orton versus Batista. Who could be at number 1? Who? Here we are, number 1 of this list. We are going to quickly run through the list that we have so far. We've got number 10, Ricky Steamboat versus Randy Savage. Number 9, Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant. Number 8, Kofi Kingston versus Daniel Bryan. Number 7, Mick Foley versus Edge. At number 6, Shawn Michaels versus Ric Flair. Number 5, The Rock versus John Cena at WrestleMania 28. The Rock versus The Undertaker versus Triple H. And at number 3, The Rock versus Hulk Hogan. And at number 2, Daniel Bryan versus Randy Orton versus Batista. So at number 1, I'm not going to lie, I've been a bit of a chicken shit on this one. It is Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker, both of them. I can't split apart how good one to the other is, which one's the best, which one isn't, which one I like more, which one I don't. So I've just put Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker at both of those matches. The bad versus good, and the career versus streak at the end. I couldn't pick between them. I couldn't do anything. Don't hold that against me. It was just, I had to do that because those 2 matches, in my personal opinion, are the greatest matches, storytelling matches I have ever witnessed in a WrestleMania match. Probably ever. Let's put it this way. I think that these 2, if you put this match in any era, in any generation, at any time, even when I'm long gone, this match will go down as history as the greatest. Even today, I don't think there has been a match at the moment that has topped Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker. Just everything about them, the way it was, the way they went about it, everything. So that's why for me it's at number 1, and those 2 matches are at number 1, miles ahead of the others. So that's why I've put them there. I want you guys to tell me what you think. If there's anything that I've missed out, I know I've missed out quite a lot of matches in here. If there's anything you guys think as well that you would put in here, what I didn't, please put in the comments down below. Please like this video. Hello, thank you for watching this video. It has been really helpful this week. Looking at all of the likes and the views that we're getting. It's not massive, it's small. I'm not expecting it to be, but we're going to grow, we're going to get bigger, we're going to get better. So don't forget, on the other channel, the football channel, the same time as this, but on the other channel, I will be doing my Reading versus Bristol review, the predictions and the build up to the match. We will be doing after the bells, because I'm talking too much wrestling. After the full time whistle thoughts as well, and that will go up on Saturday as well, with the review of that. Don't forget as well, we've got Stand and Deliver and WrestleMania predictions coming forward as well. If there's any other content you would like me to make, if there's any ideas that you guys have that I haven't thought of yet, please put down in the comments down below. Please tag all your friends and family or anyone that will be interested in watching as well. And I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow for the first prediction series with Stand and Deliver